Yesterday, I found out my 17-year-old daughter is cheating on her boyfriend. I walked in on her with another boy in our own home.
That must have been quite a shock for you.
Shock? I saw red. I started screaming at her, at this boy I'd never seen before. He bolted out so fast he left his shirt behind. And Cammy, she was pissed at me. Apparently, I'm in the wrong for invading her privacy.
How exactly did this confrontation play out?
I can't remember all the details. She's not even allowed to have her boyfriend in her room. So I started to ream her out about that. But then the kid turned his head, and it wasn't even Lucas, just some random kid I've never even seen before. And I know all of her friends.
So you saw a strange kid in your daughter's bed and asked him to leave?
If we're being polite about it, yes. I may have threatened to beat him with my shoe. But he got out of there so fast I never got the chance.
And then it was just you and your daughter. Did she apologize?
Apologize? Huh. She told me her relationship was none of my business. That she's almost 18 and can do whatever she wants. Can you believe that?
How did that make you feel?
Sick. Lucas is such a good kid. He was there for her through everything. The divorce, switching schools. When she had that anxiety attack during finals week, he sat with her for hours just breathing together until she calmed down.
It sounds like you care about Lucas too.
Of course I do. Last month my car broke down and Lucas drove 40 minutes just to help jumpstart it. He eats all the food I cook and insists on washing the dishes. He brings her flowers all the time. He writes her little notes and leaves them around the house. He drives her and her friends wherever they want. I could go on, but he is just such a sweet boy. He loves her so much, and I thought she loved him too.
That does sound like a beautiful relationship for two teenagers.
And she's throwing it all away for what? Some random hookup? I raised her better than this. When I caught her father cheating, I walked out that same day. Showed her that's not something you tolerate.
I'm really sorry to hear that. Do you think perhaps your own experience with infidelity is affecting how you're handling this?
Maybe. But Lucas doesn't deserve this. Last week he was at our house helping me plant a garden because Cammy wants fresh vegetables for some new diet she's trying. What kind of teenage boy does that with his girlfriend's mom? He treats her like gold, Mr. Fig. And she's acting just like her father.
That's a heavy comparison to make.
Well, it's true. She had the nerve to tell me it wasn't a big deal, that everyone cheats. By everyone, she means her dad. She thinks he walks on air. I was so sure she would be mad at him when we were getting divorced, but she forgave him just like that.
What happened there?
Well, I insisted we tell her the truth. She was 13, old enough to understand. When I told her daddy had been unfaithful, she looked so crushed. She turned to him with these big eyes and asked him why he did it.
And what did he say?
Oh, he spun this fairy tale about love at first sight. Said sometimes the heart wants what it wants, and we can't control who we fall in love with. That he'd met someone special and couldn't deny his feelings anymore.
How did Cammy react to hearing that?
Like magic. Her whole face changed. Suddenly it was this beautiful romantic story, instead of what it really was. Her father betraying our family because he couldn't keep his thing in his pants. He made it sound so innocent and pure, like he was the victim of some magical force, instead of a man making conscious choices to lie and sneak around for years.
That must have been frustrating to witness.
It was infuriating. He cheated with 8 different women that I know of. But Cammy only heard about the special someone he left me for. I just couldn't bring myself to tell her all the details. Her dad's no prince, forgive me for saying this, but the man's dirtier than a gas station washroom.
You were put in a very difficult position, and I can't blame you for trying to protect your daughter from the ugly truth. Infidelity leaves deep scars on the whole family.
Yes, it's like he was poisoning our family for years before I finally caught on.
And seeing your daughter repeat these patterns must feel like reopening those old wounds. Cheating is one of the most devastating forms of betrayal. It's not just about the act itself. It's about the lies, the manipulation, the complete disregard for another person's feelings.
That's what kills me. Lucas trusts her completely. He already turned down his dream school so they could go to college together. He'll be crushed.
Have you tried having a calm conversation since this all happened? Maybe telling her how her dad's cheating affected you might make her realize the damage she's doing to Lucas.
She doesn't want to hear it. In her mind, her dad found true love, and I'm just bitter. She has no idea how many nights I cried myself to sleep. I was trying to be strong for her. All she saw was daddy moving in with his pretty new girlfriend, and their perfect little life together. I'm sorry I get carried away whenever I talk about him.
That's perfectly understandable. It sounds like your daughter has broken rules by letting a boy into her room. She's doing something you're not proud of on top of that, and you're rightfully upset and disappointed in her. As if that wasn't enough, she's re-triggered your own hurts from your relationship with her dad, so there's a lot of emotions there. And floating around in all of this is Lucas, who sounds like a sweet kid that's in for some heartbreak. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. How can I help you sort through this mess?
I guess I just want to know if I'm overreacting. I grounded her indefinitely, took her phone, her laptop, and I told her she can forget about that big 18th birthday party she wanted.
Okay. And how is that working out?
Great, except for all the cursing, screaming, crying, slamming doors. The neighbors probably think I have a wild animal trapped in here. But nope, it's just my teenager. Oh, I also told her she had to come clean to Lucas about what she did.
And I'm guessing that didn't go over well?
She lost it completely. Started yelling that I was trying to ruin her life, that Lucas would break up with her. I told her good. He deserves to know the truth. I told her either she tells him or I will. She needs to face what she's done. No more of this following your heart nonsense her father taught her.
So Lucas doesn't know yet.
No, but he will soon. Is that cruel of me? Am I overstepping?
I would have to know more about you and your daughter's relationship to know if you're overstepping. I can say that what would be really cruel is letting that poor boy plan his whole future around someone who's not all in with him.
4 years of therapy after my divorce, Mr. Fig. 4 years of putting myself back together, relearning how to trust. And now my own daughter. I feel like she's broken my heart, and I don't know how to handle this.
You know, Daniela, I want you to hear something important. You are not responsible for your daughter's choices. Your job as a parent is to guide her and try your best, which is exactly what you're doing.
But where did I go wrong? I thought I raised her to be kind and thoughtful.
Children don't always learn from our examples. Sometimes they have to make their own mistakes, painful as that is to watch. What matters is how we respond when they finally come to us for help.
So you don't think I'm being too harsh?
Not at all. She broke your trust and your house rules. More importantly, she's hurting someone else. Setting consequences isn't harsh, it's necessary. That's how children learn that their actions affect others.
I just don't want her turning out like her father.
Listen, you can't control whether she makes the right choices, but that doesn't mean you should let her do whatever she wants. Standing firm on your values and enforcing boundaries, that's good parenting.
Even if she hates me for it?
Even then, she might be angry now, but one day she'll understand. You're teaching her that actions have consequences, that we don't get to hurt people and just walk away from it.
I hope you're right. Sometimes I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle. Like if I had just married the right man, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now.
You're fighting the good fight, Daniela. The past may be set in stone, but the future isn't. Don't worry too much about what she's learning from her dad. Focus on showing her what integrity looks like. Sometimes kids need to mature before they can truly see their parents for who they are.
I guess that's right. Thank you, Mr. Fig. I really needed someone to talk this through with.
That's what I'm here for.
I better go check if there's anything left unbroken in her room.
Take care of yourself, Daniela, and feel free to call back anytime. The ripple effects of cheating go far beyond just the two people involved. It damages families, friend groups, even communities sometimes. I've spoken with many people over the years who've experienced it from different angles: the betrayed spouse, the children caught in the middle, even some who were the unfaithful ones, and later came to regret their actions deeply. Some relationships survive infidelity, but it takes tremendous work from both parties and complete honesty. The trust has to be rebuilt from scratch. But more importantly, the person who cheated needs to truly understand the depth of harm they've caused and take full responsibility. No excuses. Obviously, that wasn't the case here. Even though Cammie hasn't realized it, her father did her a great disservice when he chose another woman over his family. The very idea of it was probably too crushing to process when she was younger, so she just brushed over it as a way to cope with the loss. Now she's nearly an adult and still hasn't reckoned with the pain her father's infidelity caused her, and instead is hurting the people around her just like he did. When someone romanticizes cheating, they're trying to escape accountability. Real love is respect, honesty, and kindness, sacrificing your wants for someone else's needs. Deliberately hurting someone who trusts you is one of the most shameful choices a person can make. Cammie has one parent showing her the right path. That's more than some people get. And maybe someday, when she's older and wiser, she'll look back and understand why her mother took such a hard stance today, why she had to show her love by standing firm. Your father figure, signing off.